Right, just an update of what's going on in the hothouse. Getting close to the time where I need to start shifting some of these plants, mainly the cannas, are really starting to take off. And um, I've got a rolling situation where I need to move stuff out to move stuff in from indoors, from indoors into the hothouse, stuff from the hothouse outside, and to sell some of this stuff, really move it on. So yeah, space is always going to be the issue, but the problem I've got is what I like to do is really just have a month where I sort of sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace just locally for people who want to come and pick up plants. But like I say, I like to do it just over a month, and that's it. That's not something I do constantly. But the problem is a lot of the plants I sell, some are a bit behind, some are a bit in front, so it's a little bit awkward. So we've got a lot of this Spanish reed, which is ready to go. The Cannas are really want to go now. They're really looking quite decent size now. We're talking sort of 2 or 3 foot. Some of these all looking quite good. We've got all sorts here: banana, Cannas, Indica purpurea, Indica green. We've got the Cleopatra, which is a nice 2 colours on the leaves. A lot of these are sort of pretty much perfect half moon leaves. They're looking really good. So the Cannas are all doing well. We've got Tropicana black. Like I say, lots of different types. And what I tend to do is, like I say, I'll blitz it for a month, get rid of them all, and whatever I've got left over will just go back in the garden. I obviously have left a lot of Cannas in the garden, but the problem is they're a lot slower to get started. But yeah, so if I do have anything left I can't flog or get rid of or give away, then I will put back in the garden to fill out any empty spots. But yeah, like I say, a lot of the stuff is been a bit slow this year, and I found that with a lot of the colocaceas, because we've had up and down temperatures, and especially the last 2 weeks have been really rubbish weather. And the problem is some are sort of started to go, and some are being quite slow. So interestingly, the more tropical ones are putting on the more growth than the more cold hardy ones at the moment. So like this one here, Marigold, which is, I'd say, more on the tropical side, as part of the Hawaiian series. That's really sort of done quite well. Whereas a lot of the pink Chinas are really only just starting to poke their heads. I mean, we've got a couple. Let's have a look. We've got a couple that start to go. But in general, they've been quite slow, and certainly the black magics have been slow. And the problem is the balancing act is, so I've got this in a really free drain and mix, lots of perlite in there, so it dries out quick. But on the same note, you don't want, in full growth, they really want to be in a sort of quite a boggy situation. They do love water, but what you don't want to do is, when you first start them, is rot them out by keeping them too wet. So it's a fine balancing act between drying out, because these leaves are looking a little bit dry, but they're drying out, and keep them watered enough to get them growing, enough to get some roots going to take up the water. Yeah, colocaceas, it can be a little bit finicky in the early stage, unless you've got if you get them on a heat mat indoors, that's fine. But I've got more plants indoors which I'm sort of prioritising over sort of a lot of these standard colocaceas. I've got a lot of more fancy stuff which will take priority over these more basic types. But nevertheless, yeah, ideally constant heat, but because we're up and down temperatures in here and you're relying on the sun to warm the place up, as it were, yeah, bit of a up and down start, but yeah, things are starting to go. We're getting some leaves. Yeah, so I think what I probably will do is start listing on Facebook Marketplace over the next week or so. I've got a couple of regular customers who I like to give them a head start. They can come before I start listing stuff and pick what they want. But yeah, I mean, things are doing well. We've got a few bananas to get rid of. Some of them quite big now. Yes, I mean, in general things are doing okay. I took a load of little corms off the begonia grandis last year, and they're starting to go quite well. Yeah, so I really do need to shift some stuff out to get. I've got a lot of my tropical palms that I keep indoors over winter. I really like to bring out here. This is like a halfway house between, you know, from indoors to out here, which is going to be sort of bright indirect light, and then eventually I go outside in the summer. So we've got a lot of we've got foxtail, Edenidia palms, just like I say, more tropical palms, which pretty much ready to come in here now. We're getting decent temperatures, even when we had a night last week which was probably down to, I think we got down about 2 degrees one night, so not quite a frost, but you know, pretty close. But in here we still maintained a temperature. The lowest was 8.2. But it doesn't take much this time of year for it to warm up. You know, we've had a lot of cloud today, a little bit of sun, and it's already nearly 26 degrees in here. So the beauty of that is it is well insulated, it's double glazed, but also when things heat up during the day, everything absorbs the heat, obviously all the pots and that, so it doesn't really cool down that much at night. And now that the daylight hours are a lot more, obviously it's a lot less time for it to cool down overnight. Alright, so let's have a look at the stuff that's permanently planted in here. We have got a lot of the collocations which I was concerned about, because we did flood in here, and I thought, you know, over the winter period when it's so wet, a lot of the corms might have rotted off, but everything's still doing well. So we've got a lot of the collocations coming back. We've got the redemption kicking out loads of pups already. So yeah, I think in general a couple more weeks of decent sun, or warmer temperatures at least, and things really will start kicking off in here, and I'm going to have to start getting the irrigation system on, or misting system should I say, on a time, because at the minute I've just been doing it as and when needed. I just got it on a tap outside. I just turn it on for a couple of minutes when it's really warm, just to raise the humidity, and you know, that does sort of water the plants to an extent as well. So I have been moving a few of my indoor plants outside. So I've got the Thai constellation here, which is starting to open a new leaf. So that's looking good. I'm hoping that's going to put on a decent amount of growth this year. But yeah, I really would like to get some of the hardier palms outside, and like I say, swap them for some more tropical palms. Right, before we bore you too much, we'll probably call it a day at that. I've got some nice Musa sicanensis here, Bengal tiger, which is starting to put on a bit of growth. So I will be selling these as well. So starting to get the nice markings on the leaves now. quite good. And actually some of these, even though they're very, very small plants, they're starting to pup already, so we've got 2 pups on that one. So yeah, promising. Let's just hope we get a decent summer this year after the very poor one last year and the up and down spring we've had. I don't think I covered this one. We'll just quickly do it before I finish the video. Then we'll look at this. This is the Crinum Lily, or Crinum Lily, however you want to say it. This is the Purpureus. This is the giant lily. This is one I got from Farmer Gacy. Really, Farmer Gracie. Really big, I don't know what you'd call it, a quorm tuber, whatever. As we can see, it's starting to wake up. The, you know, this is the cut growth, and it's sort of grown about 1 inch out the top here, and the side growths are starting to go now. So I've just put that in a free drain and mix, and just let nature take its course. As it warms up, that'll start growing and kick into growth properly, and this is going to be quite an impressive plant, I think. Yeah, one I've never grown before, one I've always sort of liked. I do watch a lot of YouTube sort of tropical plants, garden videos, and this is one that you'll see in a lot of the American ones, you know, that in Florida and stuff, they do tend to grow a lot of these, and they are ones that they do want a good amount of heat to get them going. So we're just on the brink of that sort of taking off. So that'll be interesting to see how that one go, because that's a totally new one on me. But yeah, things are really starting to come alive now, and we want to shift some stuff so we can get some more interesting stuff back in here. Right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.